Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayan Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudiriya Nashtaprayasya Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttam Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naistikya. So continuing with the discussion on Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya Lila, Chapter 8, talks between Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Ramanand Pai, text 91 onwards. So here, previously, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami said, or Ramanand Rai is speaking in this case, that Lord Krishna promises devotion service as we surrender unto him. So now he quotes a verse from Bhagavad Gita, ye yatha mam prapadyante tans tathaiva bhajami mam vartamanu vartante manushya partha sarvasya. According to Lord Krishna in Bhagavad Gita, as all surrender unto me, I reward them accordingly. Everyone follows my path in all respects, O son of Pritha. Ei premera anurupa na para bhaji Bhajite Ateva Rena Haya Kahe Bhagavate. In Srimad Bhagavatam it is said, Lord Krishna cannot proportionately reciprocate devotional service in Madhurya Ras. Therefore, he always remains a debtor to such devotees. Although he says, I reward them accordingly, but for Madhurya, especially for gopis, he says he cannot reciprocate. He says, Na pare aham nirvadya samyuja. So sadhu kritam vibuddha yushapi. Ya madhajan durjaya geha shrinkhala samrishya tadva pratiyatu sadhu. When the gopis were overwhelmed with dissatisfaction due to Lord Krishna's absence from the Ras Lila, Krishna returned to them and told them, my dear gopis, our meeting is certainly free of all material contamination. I must admit that in many lives it would be impossible for me to repay my debt to you because you have cut off the bondage of family life just to search for me. Consequently, I am unable to repay you. Therefore, please be satisfied with the honest activities in this regard. So be satisfied with your honest activity. Even I cannot repay you. Yadyapi Krishna Saundarya Madhurera Dhurya Braj Devira Sangetara Bade Madhurya. Although Krishna's unparalleled beauty is the topmost sweetness of love of Godhead, his sweetness increases unlimitedly when he is in the company of the gopis. Consequently, Krishna's exchange of love with the gopis is a topmost perfection of love of Godhead. So his sweetness increases unlimitedly when he is in the company of the gopis. Krishna and his devotees become perfectly intimate in conjugal love of Godhead. In other mellows, the Lord and the devotees do not enjoy transcendental bliss as perfectly as they enjoy in conjugal love. The next verse, Srimad Bhagavatam 10:33-6, will illustrate this point. Tatra iti shushubhetabhera Bhagavan Devaki Sutta Madhye Maninam Hemana Mahamarkato Yatha. Although the son of Devaki, the supreme personality of Godhead, is the reservoir of all kinds of beauty, when he is among the gopis, he nonetheless becomes more beautiful, for he resembles a market jewel surrounded by gold and other jewels. So I guess this market jewel must be really beautiful, great, very shiny. प्रभु के यही साध्य अवधि सुनिश्चय Kripa kari kaha yadi aage kichu hai. Now this is amazing. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu replied, this is certainly the limit of perfection, Madhurya Ras. But please be merciful to me and speak more if there is more. So can somebody even imagine there's something beyond Madhurya Ras? But there has to be, otherwise Mahaprabhu would not ask this question. राय कहे यार आगे पूछे है न जाने इत दिन नाही जानी आचार्य भुवने. Rai Ramanand replied, until this day I did not know anyone within this material world who would inquire beyond this perfectional stage of devotional service. So see, conjugal love, Madhurya Ras, Shringar Ras, yes, gopis are there, but Mahaprabhu wanted to know about Radharani. She is the highest perfection of Madhurya Ras, and that's what Mahaprabhu wanted to find out. इहार मध्य राधार प्रेम साध्य शिरोमणि यहार महिमा सर्व शास्त्रेर वाक. Among the loving affairs of the gopis, Ramanand Rai continued, Srimati Radharani's love for Shri Krishna is topmost. Indeed, the glories of Srimati Radharani are highly esteemed in all revealed scriptures. यथा राधा प्रिया विष्णु तस्या कुंडम प्रियम तथा सर्व गोपीषु सैवेका विष्णुरत्यंत वल्लभा. Just as Srimati Radharani is most dear to Shri Krishna, her bathing place, Radhakund, is also dear to him. Among all the gopis, Srimati Radharani is supermost and very dear to Lord Krishna. This verse is from Padma Puran and is included in Laghu Bhagavatam by Srila Rupa Goswami. It also appears in Adi Lila and again in the Madhya Lila. But it has appeared in Nectar of Instruction also. Anya aradhito nunam bhagwan harir ishvara yanno vihaya govinda prito yam anayad raha. When the gopis began to talk among themselves, they said, dear friends, the gopi who has been taken away by Krishna to a secluded place must have worshipped the Lord more than anyone else. So, Anya Aradhita Nunam. So means that's where actually Shukdev Goswami, in this verse only he spoke the name of Srimati Radharani in Bhagavatam, although in an indirect way. The name Radha is derived from this verse, from the words Anya Aradhita, meaning by her the Lord is worshipped. Sometimes the critics of Srimad Bhagavatam find it difficult to find Radharani's holy name in that book, but the secret is disclosed here in the word Aradhita, from which the name Radha has come. Of course, the name of Radharani is directly mentioned in other Puranas. This gopi's worship of Krishna is topmost, and therefore her name is Radha, or the topmost worshipper. So that's the meaning of name Radha. Just like meaning of Krishna is the all attractive. Radha means the topmost worshipper. Now, worshipper again, not the worship of demigods, worship with love and devotion. Now, Mahaprabhu saying further, Prabhu kahe aage kaha shunite pai sukhe, apurva amrita nadi vahe tumhara mukhe. Lord Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, please speak on. I am very happy to hear you because a river of unprecedented nectar is flowing from your mouth. Churi kari Radha ke nila gopi ganera dare, anyapeksha haila premera, gadata naspure. During the Ras dance, Shri Krishna did not exchange loving affairs with Srimati Radharani due to the presence of the other gopis. Because of the dependence of the others, the intensity of love between Radha and Krishna was not manifest. Therefore, he stole her away. Out of the fear of the gopis, Lord Shri Krishna took Srimati Radharani to a secluded place. In this regard, the words Kamsari Rapi, verse 106 in this chapter, will be quoted from the Gita Govind of Jayadev Goswami. Radha Radha lagi gopire yadi sakshat kare tyaga, tabe jani radhaya krishnera gada anu. If Lord Krishna rejected the company of the other gopis for Srimati Radharani, we can understand that Lord Shri Krishna has intense affection for her. Nobody except Radharani. Rahe kahe tabe shun premera mahima, Trijagate Radha premera nahi ka upama. Ramanand Rai continued, please therefore hear from me about the glories of Srimati Radharani's loving affairs. They are beyond compare within these worlds, within these three worlds. Gopi Garnera Rasa Nitya Mandali Chadiya, Radha Chahi Vane Fere Vilapa Kariya. Finding herself treated equally with all the other gopis, Srimati Radharani displayed her tricky behavior and left the circle of the Ras dance. Missing Srimati Radharani's presence, Krishna became very unhappy and began to lament and wander throughout the forest to search her out. So this tricky behavior, obviously it's nothing to do with envy, that she was envious of the other gopis. No way. It just, she wasn't feeling that pleasure, and obviously Krishna was not feeling the pleasure in her company, in the presence of other gopis. And also in the Ras Lila, that Shardiya Ras Lila, it is also said not all the gopis were on the same level, very, very qualified level. So they still needed to be purified. So when Krishna and Radharani left, then they started that, we read that chapter Gopi Geet and Bhagavatam, and they were lamenting, and this lamentation completely purified them. And then Krishna reappeared. Kansari rapi samsara vasana badam shrinkhalam radham adhaya hridaya tatyaj vraj sundari. Lord Krishna, the enemy of Kamsa, took Srimati Radharani within his heart, for he desired to dance with her. Thus he left the arena of the Ras dance and the company of all the other beautiful damsels of Braj. Itastatas tam anushritya radhikam ananga bana varana khinna manasa kritanu tapaha sa kalinda nandini tatanta kunje vishasad madhava. Being afflicted by the arrow of Cupid and unhappily regretting his mistreating Srimati Radharani, Madhava, Lord Krishna began to search for her along the banks of the Yamuna river. When he failed to find her, he entered the bushes of Vrindavan and began to lament. These two verses are from Gita Govinda, written by Jayadev Goswami. এই দুই শ্লোকের অর্থ বিচারিলে জানি বিচারিতে উঠে যে না আমৃতের খানি. Simply by considering these two verses, one can understand what nectar there is in such dealings. It is exactly like freeing a mine of nectar. Shat koti gopi sange rasa vilas, tar madhye ekamurte rahe radhapas. Although Krishna was in the midst of hundreds of thousands of gopis during the Ras dance, he still kept himself in one of his transcendental forms by the side of Srimati Radharani. Sadharana preme dekhi sarvatra samata, radhara kutila preme haila vamata. Lord Krishna is equal to everyone in his general dealings, but due to the conflicting ecstatic love of Srimati Radharani, there were opposing elements, Vamata. So they were opposing elements. So she has ecstatic love for Krishna, and Krishna has ecstatic love for Radharani, but there some shloka says kutilta, kutil prema. It's a crooked love. अहेर एव गति प्रेमना स्वभाव कुटिल भवेत् अतो हेतोश्च युनोर्मान उदंचति. The progress of loving affairs between a young boy and a young girl is like the movement of a snake. On account of this, two types of anger arise between a young boy and girl: anger with cause and anger without cause. During the Rasa dance, one form of Krishna was between every two gopis, but by the side of Srimati Radharani, there was only one Krishna. Although this was the case, Srimati Radharani still manifested disagreement with Krishna. And this verse is from Ujjwal Nilamani, written by Sri Rupa Goswami. So it's like the movement of a snake. Snake doesn't move straight. It's a very crooked movement. So similarly, the progress of loving affairs between a young boy and young girl. क्रोध करी रास छाड़ी गेला मान कहरी तारे न देखिया व्याकुल हैला श्री hari. When Radharani left the Rasa dance out of anger and resentment, Lord Shri Krishna became very anxious because he could not find her, he could not see her. Samyak sara vashana Krishnera Rasa Lila, Rasa Lila vasanate Radhika Shrinkhala. Lord Krishna's desire in the Rasa Lila circle is perfectly complete, but Srimati Radharani is a binding link in that desire. So without Radharani, even, of course, the Rasa Lila cannot happen without Radharani. She is a binding link. Krishna could be with millions and millions of gopis, but if Radharani is not there, it will not give him pleasure. Taha vinu rasalila nahi bhaye chitte, mandali chadiya gela radha anveshite. The Ras dance does not shine in the heart of Krishna without Srimati Radharani. Therefore, he also gave up the circle of the Ras dance and went out to search for her. Itastata bhrami kaha radha na paya, vishad karin kama bane khinna aya. When Krishna went out to search for Srimati Radharani, he wandered here and there, not finding her. He became afflicted by the arrow of Cupid and began to lament. Now, this is another thing. Krishna is lamenting. He's the Supreme Lord. Omniscient, omnipotent Lord. Yes. See, if a young boy, a girl, they have a relationship here in the material world, and one goes away, suppose a girl goes away, and the boy will lament. But is it the same feelings as Krishna has for Radharani? No. But all the feelings in the material world are there because the origin is there in the spiritual world. Of course, mood of Krishna for Radharani is not out of lust. And Radharani's mood is also not out of lust for Krishna. Here it's all lust. But originally it is there. And he began to lament. This shows his love for his devotees, how much he has love for his devotees, especially Srimati Radharani. Shatakoti gopite nahe kama nirvapan tahate anumani shiradhikaragan. since Krishna's lusty desires were not satisfied, even in the midst of hundreds of thousands of gopis, and he was thus searching after Srimati Radharani, we can easily imagine how transcendently qualified she is. Prabhu kehe ye lagi ailam tomastani, sei sab tattva vastu ailamor gyani. After hearing this, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said to Ramanand Rai, that for which I have come to your residence has now become an object of truth in my knowledge. So how we can easily imagine how transcendently qualified Radharani is. So this part, obviously, even Krishna didn't know. And that's why he took the form of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, mood of Radharani, to understand her love, her qualities. Eve se janilo sadhya sadhana nirnaya, age ara ache kichu shunite manahaya. Now I have come to understand the sublime goal of life and the process of achieving it. Nevertheless, I think there is something more ahead, and my mind is desiring to have it. Krishnera Swarupa kaha Radhara Swarupa, Rasa Kona Tattva Prema Kona Tattva Rupa. Kindly explain the transcendental features of Krishna and Srimati Radharani. Also explain the truth of transcendental mellows and the transcendental form of love of Godhead. Kripa kariye tattva kahata mare, toma vina keha iha nirupite nare. Kindly explain all these truths to me, but for yourself, no one can ascertain them. Rai kahe hami kichui na jani, tumi ye kaho se kaheyami vani. Shri Ramanand Rai replied, I do not know anything about this. I simply vibrate the sound you make me speak. So Krishna is making him speak what Krishna wanted to hear. तुम्हारे शिक्षाएं पढ़ी ये न शुक पाठ साक्षात ईश्वर तुम्ही के पूछित तुम्हारा नाथ. I simply repeat like a parrot whatever instructions you have given me. You are the Supreme Personality of Godhead Himself. Who can understand your dramatic performances? हृदय प्रेरणा करत जीवाय कहो वाणी की कहिए भाला मंदा के छुई न जानी. You inspire me within the heart and make me speak with the tongue. I do not know whether I am speaking well or badly. प्रभु कहे मायावादी आमित सन्यासी भक्ति तत्व नाही जानी मायावादे भासी. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, I am a Mayavadi in the renounced order of life. I do not even know what transcendental loving service to the Lord is. I simply float in the ocean of Mayavad philosophy. Sharvoma Sange Mora Mana Nirmal Haila Krishna Bhakti Tattva Kaha Tahare Puchila. Due to the association of Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, my mind became enlightened. Therefore, I asked him about the truths of transcendental loving service to Krishna. Teho kehe ami nahi jani Krishna katha, sabe Ramananda jane teho nahi ye tha. Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya told me, I do not actually know about the topics of Lord Krishna. They are all known only to Ramananda Rai, but he is not present here. Tomar ठाई आइला tomar महिमा सुनिया तुमी मोर स्तुति कर सन्यासी जानिया. Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu continued, after hearing about your glories, I have come to your place, but you are offering me words of praise out of respect for a sannyasi, one in the renounced order of life. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur explains that a mundane person, being enriched by mundane opulences, must always know that the transcendental opulences of the advanced devotees are far more important than the materialistic opulences of a person like himself. A materialistic person with material opulences should not be very proud or puffed up before a transcendental devotee. If one approaches a transcendental devotee on the strength of one's material heritage, opulence, education, and beauty, and does not offer respect to the advanced devotee of the Lord, the Vaishnava devotee may offer formal respects to such a materially puffed up person, but he may not deliver transcendental knowledge to him. Indeed, the devotee sees him as a non-Brahman or Shudra. Such a puffed up person cannot understand the science of Krishna. A proud person is deceived in transcendental life and, despite having attained a human form, will again glide into hellish conditions. By his personal example, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu explains how one should be submissive and humble before a Vaishnava, even though one may be situated on a high platform. Such is the teaching of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as Acharya of the world, the supreme spiritual master and teacher. See how humble Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself is. And he, although Ramananda Rai is saying, you are making me speak whatever you want to hear. And Mahaprabhu said, no, no, I'm just a Mayavadi sannyasi. I don't know anything. Sarvam Bhattacharya told me something about love. So this is humility. And that's why, not that's why, of course, Mahaprabhu is Krishna and Ramananda Rai is Vishakha Sakhi, but they are showing how to get proper knowledge, how to attain it, how to realize it. So I guess we can stop here. See anybody has any questions or comments.
Nice class, Prabhuji. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you.
Hare
Thank
Krishna.
you. You all have a safe and wonderful day. Hare Krishna. Jai Shri.
Hare Krishna.